All righty, we're in the building. What's happening? Sifu Kwazi with you. Happy Friday, people. Happy Friday, my good people. Yeah, it's Friday. Yeah, bring it on. Yeah, bring it on. It's Friday. What is good? What's going on? Friday night, we made it. The weekend's finally here. Apologies for last week live. I realized when I finally got on after I had done the live that I didn't have the mic set quite right. So if you listen to the replay and it was all muffly and sounded like a little bit of basura, it's because of that. So apologies on that. We should be on point tonight. Good to have some people in here already. We're going to talk some martial arts as we usually do. But first of all, I always got to thank you guys for joining the live, whether you're doing it live now or checking the recap. I appreciate you guys being here. Kung Fu Chronicles, you know, it's Sifu Kwazi. And yeah, I want to give you guys love. And thanks again for the support. Got so much good stuff coming up on the channel. I got to thank you guys first and foremost for the support. The Mimi Chan interview that I did is doing very well. Getting a lot of good feedback on that. If you haven't checked the interview, you guys should do so.
There's always activity going on.
And is there still that pressure, like, because you're, you know, obviously Sifu Mimi, and they like a lot of people know you. When people come to the temple, is it like, okay, is she still as good as she was back when she was 20? Do you still feel that, or is it just like, hey, I'm just doing my thing?
Oh, you know, when you say pressure, I feel like the pressure doesn't really come from students per se. I think the pressure just comes more from external forces and mainly myself, right? I probably put the most pressure on myself than anybody. And I think the great thing about our school is that most people that come in are there because they're drawn to something. And a lot of times it's the culture and the tradition and the philosophy that we kind of encompass.
Yeah. So again, thank you guys for supporting that. I'm going to leave the links for the interview down below, as I usually do. Give you guys another quick part of the interview. It's like connects with you. Let me precursor this by saying Sifu Mimi was so generous with her time. Sifu Mimi Chan is the head instructor down at the Orlando Temple and the Walam Temple in Orlando, Florida. Her dad, Grandmaster Poi Chan, was the main instructor for many, many years and still there, but kind of semi-retired. Got a chance to talk to her daughter, the now head instructor. We have a mutual love and respect for the show Warrior. She's had some of the cast on. I've had Perry Young on, as you guys have seen, who played Father June. Come on, season 4. Yes. We want that season 4. Have you guys been watching Warrior? You guys really need to watch Warrior if you haven't already. It's on Netflix. It was on Max before that. This is our talking about our mutual love of the show. The show just like connects with you.
Oh, I love the show. Beyond the representation part of it, I just think the writing is amazing. I love the acting, and I love Brett Chan and his team of action. I respected that from the get-go, and I think actually Brett was the first one I had on my show from the team, because I looked at it from an action aspect, because I'm a bit picky these days with my action, and there's a little bit of a fatigue, right? Whereas like growing up, everything was kung fu movies. I think in the last decade, I don't really watch too many kung fu movies. People are always like, did you watch this? I was like, no.
Okay.
But I think it's the fatigue, right? And when I saw this, I was like, gosh, the choreography is incredible.
Yeah, and it really is. So if you guys haven't checked out Warrior, I really, really recommend you do. So many things. We're going to talk about the show, one of my favorites, as people know, the show Shogun, but that's coming in later in the live tonight. I want to get some feedback from you guys first and foremost, though. What are your thoughts? What are you liking so far about what we're doing here on the channel? What are you not liking? So I'm here for it all. But let's see here. I want to get some feedback, of course, but I also want to talk martial arts news, up and coming news. I've taken a trip out to the new Martial Arts History Museum, and that is going to be turned into a video that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. That new location for that for the museum is now in Glendale. So what do you guys think about that? Glendale, California. Let me know down below if you guys have ever checked out the museum. I think by now you guys should have. It's brand new, 4 times the space that the museum used to have. I mean, the thing is massive. They've got a new theater in there, holds like 100+ people. If you've ever been out to the old one, they just had a little area in the back where they did their special events and stuff like that. Now it's a live theater that's in the actual building, so people are going to get to see shows there, premieres, movie screenings, all that good stuff. So they've got a lot coming your way. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yes, the Martial Arts History Museum is back in effect. They had a soft opening a couple weeks ago, and President CEO Mr. Michael Matsuda is planning to do a grand opening very, very soon. And I've spoiler alert, gone to visit the museum, and it's great. It's nice. It's in the heart of Glendale, literally downtown area. So if you're familiar with Glendale, there's a mall, there's the Galleria down there. And pretty much right around that area, across the street almost, you've got the museum in an office building. And it's great. So I'm hoping you guys will get to check it out, and be on the lookout for the new video I'll be dropping very, very soon. What else? Okay, yes. Okay, martial arts news. Got to get into this because it's not really comical, but at first when I heard this news, I wanted to laugh. Most people, unless you're just living under a bus, you know that Jake Paul is taking on Mike Tyson. Again, Jake Paul is taking on Mike Tyson. And that's not a joke. It's happening down in Texas on July 20th. So 2 months, pretty much 2 months from now, this is happening. I'm going to show you part of this because, again, I thought at first when I first heard about it, okay, it's a joke. No, but no, it's not a joke. Jake Paul will be taking on Mike Tyson. And this is a little bit of footage from the press release that they did earlier today. Jake Paul obviously doing his usual shenanigans, and there's no way you're ever intimidating a guy like Mike Tyson.
The ultimate disruptor, taking on the baddest man on the planet.
Yep.
July 20th, AT&T Stadium,
yep.
Arlington, Texas.
Yep.
It will be the massive, biggest event. Get on your feet, Arlington, Texas, Jake Paul.
Yeah, buddy. So just as a history to this, yes, it's more of a celebrity fight, but if you've seen Jake Paul fight, the guy's the real deal. I mean, his record compared to Mike's, obviously you've got a 30-year gap. Jake Paul's coming in at 27 years of age, I'm sorry, and Mike Tyson is 30 years older. He's 57. But I'm looking at Mike now right here, and I know you guys are too. I wouldn't want to take him on. If you've seen videos of Mike training, he's definitely up to the task. If anyone needs a refresher, Mike left the business pretty much years back with a record of 50-0, and that's 50 wins, 6 losses, 44 knockouts though. 44 fights lost. It's 44 fights won, sorry, in knockouts. So out of those 50 fights he won, 44 of them he knocked dudes out. That's incredible. That's ridiculous. I mean, that's just, that's complete domination. Now in the boxing world, we know Mike in his prime just really was taking out dudes, first round, second round, fighting people, of course, like Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis. You can go down this laundry list of dudes, young and old, that he, fought and had some amazing fights. But Jake Paul here has a record of 9-0, I believe. 9-1. Okay. He's taken on a few names, nothing huge yet. Guy by the name of Ben Askren. Tyron Woodley was a big deal because he was a former UFC fighter. That was a reputable fight. But the one fight that put Jake on the radar to me was his fight by unanimous decision he won against Anderson Silva. That fight kind of really let me know that Jake Paul kind of was the real deal. Yeah, the guy can fight. But before I even go there, just as a little quick reminder of the power, the finesse, the poise, the just tactician that Mike Tyson is. This guy is,
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting.
not that you didn't already know that Mike Tyson's a beast. We know he's a beast. I mean, like I said, his record proves it, and then some. But the fact that Jake Paul, first of all, give him major props for going up against Mike. This is not going to be just a few highlights from Mike's career I wanted to share with you guys, because it was good to, even as I was like kind of reviewing for the live tonight, reviewing some of these clips and realizing how much of a badass that Mike is. So just know that this is what Jake Paul is up against. Now, granted, this was Mike in his prime, a lot of these, but still, you saw a picture of Mike doing his thing, even now. And he recently had a fight with Roy Jones, celebrity match, but still looking pretty much in shape and ready to rumble, and hasn't lost a whole lot of power. But yeah, it's gonna be an event. So yeah, chime in with your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you're thinking as far as how this thing's gonna go down. Who do we think's gonna win? Who do we think's gonna lose? I mean, picture says it all. Mike was just that guy, and it's that old, or not even that old saying. Well, Mike coined the phrase that everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face, right? So I think Mike's got a plan, as you'll see. It's going to be something. Jake Paul, on the other hand, though, is not a slouch. He's got a few tricks probably up his sleeve as well. The guy can box. Yeah. Shout out to Mike Tyson, though. Come on, man. I mean, come on, man. Take it on Mike Tyson, even if it's for a freaking celebrity match. Yeah, it's about to be a problem. People are gonna have problems. Jake Paul is gonna have a bit of a problem, because unlike the UFC guys that Jake Paul has taken on, Mike's a purebred boxer. They don't call it the sweet science for nothing. Trained by some of the best, Casamado and many other coaches. He was an Olympian champion at the age of 16, as most people know. But yeah, let's not, take away from Jake Paul a little bit. Yes, he's a YouTuber. Yes, he's definitely made a name for himself. But like I said before, he fought Anderson Silva, and that was a heck of a fight. It was one I was not expecting him to win, because Anderson Silva was is a middleweight MMA UFC champ. I thought out of all the fights that Jake Paul was going to fight, that this would have been the one that he would have really, really been in over his head with. But I was wrong. They fought like 2 years ago, and I didn't expect the result.
That's what I would do if it was Jake Paul. And for Silva?
Yeah, so just some highlights from this fight, because this fight was pretty intense. And it went the distance. It went 8 rounds. By unanimous decision, though, Jake Paul won. I'm going to show you a few highlights here, as many as I can show very quickly, just for time's sake. And again, Silva is not a natural boxer. He's a UFC guy first, so he's used to using his legs and his hands, and he's also used to the takedowns. You can't do any of that, obviously, in boxing. So chime in on your thoughts. What do you think? Who's taking this fight? If I had to bet right now, I'm still going Tyson. Even with 30 years over Jake Paul, I'm still taking Tyson. That's just me. What do you guys think? All right, I'll let you enjoy a few of the highlights really quick before we shift gears here.
I mean, you got to be fractured. Yeah, that's a big. That's
a good right hand from Paul. Silva answer. Wow, but you know what? This is a high-level fight.
It is. It's give and take. It looks the fresher of the both fighters.
I think so too.
I see the wear and tear. Figure out what Silva does with his foot.
Yeah, I don't know what the
Wow. Oh, nice there by.
And it comes down to the body. Call on the ropes at the bell.
Okay.
Fight, so you don't want that to happen.
Been finding a pretty busy pace. Yeah.
Left to the body. Straight right hand.
Watch your head in there. Watch your head.
Corner now ties Silva up. Silva.
Silva's pace too at his age.
Yeah.
He's been pretty busy. Look at him.
Yeah. So again, your thoughts on that? Again, if I'm a betting man, and I'm not really a betting man, I still say Tyson's probably got the upper hand because he's just, again, a purebred boxer versus Jake Paul, who is not he's a boxer, but he's nowhere near as experienced. A quick change of gears here, because I saw this earlier today and I wanted to mention this because, as much as, I love running a martial arts channel, as much as I love practicing and partaking in the martial arts and being an instructor in it, bad things do happen, unfortunately, to good people. And I want to remind people of that. So the clip I'm going to show next it's not super graphic, but it's very sad. There is a Uber driver who was unfortunately killed while she was driving one of her passengers around. And only reason I'm going to bring this to people's attention is because I want people to remember that, we always need to stay aware. Unfortunately, this happened. And it's a reminder that, again, bad things can happen to people anywhere. And before I show this, I just want to, it's to make people aware, but also so that people know that, the martial arts, I think in general, people like myself that train in it, but not only train in it, but teach in it, we really have to take our art serious. So I'm going to show you part of this video really quickly. This was on X. So I'm just showing you the video clip. And it's pretty sad, but.
What are you doing?
This is a gun. Keep driving.
No, it's not. Stop. Come on, man. I got a family. What are you
I got a
doing?
family too. Now drive.
What are you doing?
Drive.
Please stop.
Drive the car.
I have
You
4
drive the
kids.
car.
What are you
Drive the
doing?
car.
What are you doing?
Yeah. So this guy basically was in the back of the car getting an Uber ride. And it's pretty much what you're seeing here is it's footage of the final moments of an Uber driver, Christina Spacuzza, before she was murdered by this guy, Calvin Anthony Crew. The 38-year-old mother of 4 was discovered shot dead through the back of the head on February 12, 2022. This 2 years ago, but 2 days after she was last seen alive. So it's a 2-year-old case, but at the same time, I wanted to bring this to light to everybody, especially you guys out there that may drive Ubers for a living or may drive Ubers in your part-time. Always be aware. I know you don't know half these people that you're driving around, but it's always good to take some precautions. Anyway, it says, after the brutal killing, Crew allegedly tried to access Spacuzza's banking apps to transfer money to his girlfriend's phone. Crew was subsequently arrested after Spacuzza's body was found. If convicted, Crew would face the death penalty, and as he should. The guy is basically a piece of shit that took the life of somebody, a mother of 4. Very tragic. But, I say that to say, if you haven't already, maybe it's time to think about, especially if your line of work or your career or partial or part of your career is driving people around in as an Uber driver. And it is a good way to make a living and it's a good way to make extra cash. And I get that, but we got to be safe out there. So if you're interested in training, you can direct message me here, chat me up here. I can always recommend a few schools that I train with or people specifically I train with, or point you in the right direction, depending on what it is that you're looking for. But I had to bring that up because that got put on my radar earlier today, and I wanted to share that piece with you guys. Tragic story, but at the same time, it was worth sharing and worth bringing up. It's here. I want to be as real with you guys as I can, especially when we talk live, because this is my access to you guys, the audience that I don't usually have direct access to. through videos. Yes, it's great to read comments, but I'm always reading them not in real time. And this is the opportunity that I have every week. And again, we do this every week on Friday, 8:30. It's a better time. I actually got on here tonight on time pretty much. So yay, go me. We're working this thing, man. I promise you, we're getting better and better every day. Yeah, I applaud myself, and I will do that. All right, but not to leave it on a morbid note. For those that don't know or are unaware, you're just tuning in live for the first time. I talk about it all the time, and I've talked about it before. One of my very, very favorite shows of all time, the show Shogun. People know I'm all about this show. This show was amazing. It ended in April, started in February, 10 episodes. It was on Hulu, and Disney Plus in some areas, but out in the States on Hulu, and did wonders for Disney. So now they're actually talking about doing a season 2, not only season 2, but season 3. And before you ask me how, because that's really the question, because for all that aren't aware or didn't know, the James Clavell novel, which this was originally taken from, is, all of the things encompassed in the novel were pretty much brought on screen. The first time it was ever done, it was in the 80s. There was an original 1980 miniseries. It was based on the same book. And this new series that just ended back in April was built based on the same book. So again, the material, there's no more original material out there. But the producers have spoken with the James Clavell estate on creating a new section of the series, a new, part 2 and part 3. So they're already in the writing room from what I'm reading, and I'm going to share some of this information with you guys. So you guys let me know down below. Are you guys excited to see Shogun season 2 and 3? Hopefully you guys are. We started this thing off back in late February, and everybody watched it. I mean, we're talking 9 million plus viewers watched Shogun. And it did numbers that just surpassed anything that Disney had on before, including like the Star Wars shows, any of those shows. It really was a force to be reckoned with.
X Network Shogun is a historical drama based on James Clavell's critically acclaimed book. The book, which presents a dramatized account of history, was later made into a 1980 television miniseries starring Richard Chamberlain.
A little background
Shogun
on the
is
show.
set in medieval Japan at the start of an impending civil war at the end of the Sengoku period, 1467 to 1600. Shogun pursues John Blackthorne, an English sailor who ends up in Japan and is mixed up in the complicated political system of the country. Yoshi Toranaga, the lord of the Kanto area and one of the most influential members of the Council of Regents, is also at the center of the historical drama. Shogun has been likened to award-winning dramas such as Game of Thrones, Succession, and House of Cards. It was the most streamed TV premiere for an FX-developed series. From the showrunners and stars themselves, here's what you should know about what will happen to the popular series going forward. Shogun has not yet received a second season renewal from FX. Even with its enormous popularity, the show probably won't be renewed.
Okay, so that was old info, but I wanted to because now we know the show has been greenlit for a second and now third season. So I'm going to read you guys just a little bit of this Hollywood Reporter article just to give you the bare bones and some info on the show. Again, some superstars involved in the show. It was 10 episodes, but now it is official. FX and Hulu are prepping for not only 1, but 2 more seasons of Shogun, as I told you. The Disney-owned network said Thursday that it's teaming with the estate of the author James Clavell, as I told you guys before, to extend Shogun for 2 additional seasons. The company noted that both seasons are in development, meaning that a 2-season renewal depends on how the creative comes in. As writer's room is being assembled and will open in the summer to explore a continuation of Shogun beyond Clavell's original novel. Okay, so Shogun's creatives, including co-creators, executive producers, and writers, Justin Marks and Rachel Kondo, executive producer Michaela Clavell, as well as star and producer Hiroyuki Sanada, who was the main star. He's been in movies like John Wick and many others, pictured up in here on the left. are involved with the development. Now, Shogun, which wrapped its season, like I said, in April, ranks as FX most watched show ever. The most watched show ever, based on global hour stream. The 10-episode first season is available now. The news should come as no surprise after word leaked May 10th that FX was exploring a future beyond what it considered. And considering the numbers, 9 million plus people watched the show when it first debuted. And the numbers were insane. It was considered a limited series because, again, the source material only was used for those first 10 episodes. It says the leak was timed to the deadline for Emmy submissions so that TV's Academy, as FX was tasked with determining if Shogun would compete either as an ongoing drama series or in the limited series categories. Sources say FX did submit Shogun in the drama categories. Sonata previously signed what sources described as an if-come deal, which would see him return in the franchise should FX successfully develop additional seasons. That means if FX formally greenlights a second and third season, which they did, Sonata would return to the series, which he will. All right, so Shogun Build as a limited series ranks as the most expensive scripted shows FX has done in its history. The network spent years developing the series, which is based on Clavel's 1975 novel of the same name. It's the second stab at Shogun, following the NBC's Richard Chamberlain miniseries, which we've talked about on the show here many times. The series debut collected 9 million streaming views globally across Hulu, Disney, and Star Plus. Disney said in March that those numbers were the best worldwide debut to date for a general entertainment scripted series, i.e. the one that doesn't fall under the Marvel, Star Wars, Disney branded TV, Pixar, or National Geographic banners. In a February interview with The Hollywood Reporter, FX CEO John Landgraf said he'd be open to making more pricey programming if Shogun connected. So big news.
Exactly where
this
the book
thing
ends
has
is how
definitely got
co-creator and
legs,
showrunner
and it will be continuing. I myself am so excited for this. Reading you guys a little bit more. It depends on how successful it is and whether there's an appetite for it. He said this is the CEO, but obviously there's an appetite. 10 million people say so. Ultimately, the audience gets to decide whether it's something they want. I would hope if we were able to do something like it, that it wouldn't take 11 years. So no, I can't imagine spending another 11 years working on something else, because the original series, this took them 11 years to really develop properly and put on screen. So it was planned out from back in 2013, something like that. And all that time writing good scripts, getting things down, and then they finally produced and filmed the show. But anyway, so the whole thing is they got to get it right. It's got to be big in detail as well as really deep in terms of character and the human condition. As long as there's an appetite for that in the viewers, I think it'll be possible. This is the CEO again talking about this. I think it'll be possible at times to do that kind of work. Mark's an interview alongside co-creator Kondo told THR after the finale, I think if we had a story, if we could find a story, we would be open to it. But I don't think that anyone ever wants to be out over their skis without a roadmap and everything. And it's also just about, do people want more of it? Which again, 10 million seems like people definitely want more of this show. It's also about not even topping the book, but how do you even equal the roadmap that Clavel laid out? And I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if Clavel could have done it either. That's probably why he moved on to other books. He knew what he had done. It was tough. And Sonata himself echoed that in a recent finale conversation. We've been talking about how the story can continue since we started shooting, but who knows? Well, now we do know the story will continue, and you'll not only have a second season, but a third season. So what say you guys to that? I personally think it's amazing news. I'm all in all looking very much forward to a second and a third season. I thought this season was excellent. Guys, if you haven't watched this show, please just go ahead and do yourself a favor, and please do just check it out on Hulu. If you don't have Hulu, or I believe in some areas it's Disney Plus, but if you don't have either, I think you're going to be able to get it on demand very soon as well. and I know they're going to put this out on physical media soon. You know, either Blu-ray or 4K or whatever it is. The series is so good. As a matter of fact, even though I have it accessible on Hulu and I can rewatch it, I'd still go ahead and buy a hard copy, physical copy of this just to have it to pull out every once in a while and just throw a and I know people don't really throw in Blu-rays much anymore and watch them, but hey, I still do. And I go ahead and watch it again. And I'd look forward to actually doing it again. Just like I'm looking forward to watching so many of these series that I really like again for second looks where I can discover things that I didn't discover the first time, which is what's been happening with me rewatching my favorite show. One of my favorite shows, Warrior, which I talked about earlier. And I talked to you about the fact that Sifu Mimi Chan also adores that show. So shout out once again to Warrior, its whole crew and cast. We see you season 4. We need it to happen. We definitely needed to happen. And this Shogun, are you excited for season 2 and 3? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, it's getting hot out there, man, as far as like shows. And this one was definitely one I feel was so top notch on that Game of Thrones level. And speaking of Game of Thrones, I know that new season of House of the Dragon also starts this summer. I know people are excited for that. But this is the martial arts version of that. This was on that high of a level. If you actually get to watch it, you'll see what I'm saying. From the casting and the filming, the look of the show, it's just so high end. And I think people will really, really, really enjoy it if you haven't already. All right. And the final part program, amazing. Season 2 and 3, we can't wait. And of course, as we get more news, martial arts news, as we squeeze it all into that umbrella of martial arts news, I will be on the scene or be on the spot to give it to you guys. So that's what we're all about here. It's a martial arts channel. We don't just talk straight up martial arts, but things that interest me as well, which are martial arts related, and usually movie shows, things to be on the lookout on the horizon, my own personal stories and or happenings in my life. As you guys know, I am planning, it's coming up, my final black belt test for my 2nd degree in Krav Maga. It's another art that I train in. For those unaware, I train in Kung Fu and Krav Maga. My 2nd degree test is coming up in less than a month. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be sharing some more insight on that. We're doing a lot of training, been at the school like a few days a week, both teaching and training, doing a high intensive training on Monday night. So I'll let you guys know more about that, and hopefully maybe even do some filming that I can share with you guys and get everyone's take on this. And ultimately, I'd like, you guys, the audience, people that do martial arts as well, if you want to share your histories of martial art and maybe some of your training methods, and we can start going back and forth, I think this would be a good forum and format to do that. So yeah, leave your thoughts, comments down below. I'm going to leave a couple links for, again, mentioning Sifu Mimi Chan tonight. I'll leave the link for that whole interview. You guys can check it out. Clips available. We've got a bunch of shorts down there. I'll leave the highlights or actually you should be on the lookout, I should say more specifically, for my my new interview, aka new tour of the new Martial Arts History Museum that is now in Glendale, California, no longer in Burbank, moved over to Glendale. That video is coming out in just a couple days. And then, of course, last but not least, I'll leave some a link for the info on the 2nd and 3rd seasons of Shogun. So all that said, wrap it up with that, guys. So you guys stay safe out there, and I will see you again in not next week. Next week is Memorial Day, so I might do a special live on another day, but I'll let you know as it gets close. If we don't see you though, and I won't see you Friday, then we'll be on the lookout. Keep checking my social media and everything. I'll post it on my Instagram when we'll do the next live. But if we don't get to do a live next week, we will definitely be following up with one the week after on Friday, keeping it at this time. Next week, again, like I said, because of the holiday weekend, might be a special time. I got to figure it out. All right, guys, stay safe. See you all in the next round. Keep punching and leave me comments. Actually, really quick comment here that I can share. It says, excellent. It's always good to find something intelligent and with purpose on this site with the way it's become now. Keep up the good work. And thank you so much, my friend Cheng Fu. Thanks for checking in, buddy. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support and appreciate all you guys' support. So if you've got a special comment, please do share it below. Appreciate everything. Again, I can't do this without you guys, and I'm appreciating how all the love has grown the channel over these past, it's almost going to be 4 years, guys. We're going to do a special show. It'll be 4 years old, Kung Fu Chronicles, in next month. Started this in June of 2020. As most of you guys know the story, when we started it during the pandemic as my way of giving back to things that I love in the martial arts. So that said, guys, don't forget, give me some love.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, do what the kid says. Come on.
Just stand there, like and subscribe.
Yeah, give me some love down below, and I'll see you guys all in the next round. Stay safe. Keep punching, guys. All right. Have a great weekend. Talk to you.